want to take you live to Lowell. Officials are holding a news conference about the search for a little 3-year-old boy who's been missing since this morning.
Control Chief for NEMLEC Operations and Deputy Superintendent Greg Udon from the Lowell Police Department. Thank you. So shortly after 7:15 this morning, child was dropped off at the babysitter's house, 37 Frida Lane. About 9:15 this morning, a neighbor had saw or observed the child in the backyard at 37 Frida, and about 9:30 this morning, the Lowell Police Department received a call regarding a missing or lost child. And ever since that time, the Lowell Police Department has been searching and looking for the child. As you can see, there's an enormous amount of assets that have been amassed to help look for and find this child, and we're going to continue those efforts until we do find the child. I'm going to refer to some notes regarding all the assets that are here today. First of all, the Lowell Police Department, the Lowell Police Academy. We have 50 to 60 recruits, cadets in the academy that we pulled from the academy to assist with NEMLEC regional response and pair up in teams to search the wooded area for the child. The Lowell Fire Department dive team. Of course, the NEMLEC RRT, K9, IMAT, which is their incident management assistance team, and their bicycle patrols. Middlesex Sheriff's Department, bicycle patrols, personnel and equipment. Massachusetts State Police, helicopter, dive team, their mounted unit, which you can see behind us, their trucks, patrol and their special emergency response team. DCR, the environmental police, U.S. Park Rangers, Tingsboro Police Department and Fire, the Andover Fire Department, Dracut Police, UMass Lowell Police Department, EOPS in the Fire Marshal's Office, City of Lowell DPD, the City Manager's Office, Lowell General Paramedics, and Trinity Ambulance. In all, we're anywhere between 150 and 180 law enforcement and fire personnel searching for this child right now. It is a ongoing, active, continuous search, and we will continue. I'd like to have Chief Nix talk about any of the technicalities regarding the search and rescue efforts that we're looking at right now with NEMLEC. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Scott Nix, N-I-X, long and hard to spell. I am the Chief of Police in Sudbury, indeed, but I'm also one of the Assistant Control Chiefs for NEMLEC, the Northeastern Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council. Chief Fisher is also on scene. He's down working. He is the control chief for our unit. He is down working the logistics and briefing with all personalities so that we can continue this search. We've conducted numerous searches so far and continue to conduct, as the chief indicated, canine searches. Right now, I don't know if you had seen it, but we're doing a extensive, call it line search, with probably 100+ personnel in that line of trying to identify areas that have already been searched, but search it more thoroughly. We do have numerous assets, ATVs, mountain bikes, canines, drones, and then the boots on the ground are really what would kind of get it done. It's obviously a warm day. We're fortunate to be in the shade right now, but the troops are out there in the heat, and we appreciate their efforts, and we're hoping for a positive outcome as we go. Thank you.
Right now, we suspect nothing other than a missing or lost child. We're hoping that the child walked away and that the outcome will be that we find the child right now. There's been nothing to indicate anything but right now.
Tell us about the child. Is there any type of language barrier, any issues?
No issues that we know of or that we've been confirmed, so.
Is the child verbal? Can the child talk?
That I don't know. There's been rumors out there that the child was nonverbal, but we have no confirmation on anything, so.
Do you know what he was doing outside?
At the babysitter's house, we don't know right now.
You said this was the babysitter's house. Was this a daycare? Like, were there other children there, or just this one child?
Babysitter's house is what we were told. It's not a daycare.
And were they playing outside, or where exactly was he last?
In the backyard.
So were they in the backyard playing?
Again,
TV, or did he escape out back?
We believe the child was just out in the backyard where they normally would go out and play, but we're not sure if anyone was with them or not.
Are there any signs of pairing thus far? I know earlier there was the search going on with the dive team. Was there anything found, any signs of pairing in the water or anything else otherwise?
No, just as a precaution, any body of water around, and it is borders the state forest in some areas. Any pools, we've searched every backyard, every house that we could search. So we're trying to leave no stones unturned and make sure that we do our diligence. As Chief Nick stated, we've had assets, four-wheelers in the forest. We have the mounted unit, the horses, the bicycles, an enormous amount of assets searching, and we're going to continue.
Talk about that very important. There are so many assets out here, and you never see this kind of response. Is that because it's a wooded area, there's water, because it's a small child, because the hours are ticked on? I mean, why is that?
So a combination. Number one, it's going to be an extended type of search. Right now, that's what we're looking at. We have a vast forest where the child could. There were bodies of water that's in the forest as well. So we have to make sure that we do have enough assets and enough personnel to dispel them and relieve them should something be prolonged.
Do you have how big is the area where you're looking? Do you think there's a certain distance that a child that age and that physical ability could get?
Chief Nick?
So, I mean, we are concentrating in the general area that's around us, but we would ask any viewers to keep in mind that we're looking for a 3-year-old. If he is out there wandering, we would hope that those would call in. Obviously, you can hear the State Police Air Wing. State Police has their assets in place as well. But we're trying to methodically go where the evidence is driving us as far as where he was last seen, and then kind of expand out from there. But I don't know, it's a pretty vast area. As the Chief indicated, there's lots of different topographical dynamics within that area that we need to make sure that we're covering. Hence why we're doing a line search to any area to just double check. We've already been through these areas, but we want to just double check and do it, as you pointed out, because it is a 2-year-old. But we do this, we've been to Lowell before, whether it's a tenured resident or a 2-year-old, and anywhere in between. That's what NEMLEC is for, and we come and augment, and as well as the other agencies that the Chief mentioned. I always remain positive. So I always try to remain positive. Obviously, would have loved to have found the young man a long time ago, but we got to be positive for the family, and we got to be positive for a young life. And until dynamics change, we're going to keep proceeding that same positive path.
And how is the family holding up?
So the family is concerned. Again, I don't want to get, as the Chief said, I don't want to get too much into dynamics of the family or the child or anything, because we're considering all levels of what might have transpired, and I would not want to see anything jeopardized in that search or ensuing investigations. There is no indication of that at all, but we just need to be cognizant of that, that's all.
And the timeline, you said the child was last seen in the backyard about 9:15 and reported missing at 9:30. So, I mean, how quickly did this child escape you or possession of the vehicle?
So based on the timeline, we're looking at a potential 15-minute window when the child was last seen by the time they call the police, and then the police arrive and then begin to amass some personnel to begin a search. And we were lucky today. We even had more personnel on. We had some extra personnel working the day shift, and they were sent right up to the scene, and we started searching the woods, used our canine, and then called for our partners.
Is the family from Lowell? Is the child actually from Lowell?
The child is from Lowell.
And we saw crews going into the neighbors' properties, looking under vehicles, boats, everything. Talk about that response from the neighbors, from the community in opening their doors and being a part of that search.
Absolutely. I do want to thank all the neighbors, all the people in the neighborhood. They've opened their doors. People have been delivering water. They've been assisting emergency personnel all day long. So everyone has been totally helpful to the police and the fire personnel, and we appreciate it. The Church of the Nazarene has been more than accommodating in terms of providing shelter now, water, and facilities for all law enforcement and fire personnel. So.
Did you ever issue an Amber Alert? Do you plan to? Is there a need for that?
So there's nothing, again, to indicate that there was any foul play involved in this right now. So until a time that may come or may not come, then we wouldn't do that.
Is there a time at which the search will be suspended? Are you racing against the sunlight? What are the parameters?
We're not going to say any time right now. We're going to search as long as we can and as long as we need to, and hopefully we'll be able to locate the child. So the reverse 911 was obviously more to alert all the people that we did have a missing child and that all the resources that they're seeing in the neighborhood is for that. And we haven't received any tips from anyone to this point. Excuse me.
So the
And-
babysitter was the last person to see the child.
The neighbor, a neighbor that saw the child in the backyard at 9:15.
Was the child alone when the neighbor saw the child?
I don't have that information. I just would. We have everything out on social media. We hope that if anyone does see the child, anything at all, to notify the Lowell Police Department, call 937-3200 or 911 immediately, and we will respond and look for any tips or any leads that we can. So thank you very much.
This is a 3-year-old boy, small legs, couldn't have gone very far. If you look at the ring video from different people and anyone spotted this child on like their home security.
Our detectives are researching everything right now, have been doing interviews, looking for video, and again, we're working on everything that we can. So it's an ongoing active investigation right now. Thank you.
If I might just add something real quick too. As residents come home from work, from doing their errands, from doing other things, that you take a look very, very thoroughly through your vehicles that may have been there, through your sheds, through window wells, through your houses, just in the event that he happened to wander in those different locations, okay? But we just ask, because you're the eyes and ears. As the chief mentioned, the community really came together. I was here and people were all coming out and offering to help search, and we very much appreciate that. But we do ask, when you come home, could you please thoroughly check your locations so that we can be those eyes and ears and extension of our resources. Thank you.